This is red all over, instant reaction from Oakwell after what has been a devastating 3-0 loss to Blackpool. Andy, the sun's been shining, it's been a lovely mild day, you're in the shirt sleeves, and there ends my positives. I've been thinking of anything else I can say positive. Do you want to try and sort of give me any highlights, or are we just going to go for what was a dismal day?
Oh, let's just get it over with. Yeah, I've got to record a show with him, Mr. Happy. Mr. Happy.
Are you asking me? I'm really happy today.
You're asking me to try and... Right, positives. Well, maybe 3 positives. 1 positive for my family. I've got a nephew and a great nephew, Andy and George, Blackpool fans, who will be as happy as Larry. The rest of my family will be as miserable as sin for this weekend, but at least Andy and George will be happy. So that's good for them.
Every cloud.
Conor Barrett made his debut, his starting debut, and Bailey McCann came on for his debut, so that's a positive for them. And to be honest, I don't think Conor looked out of place at all, and it weren't hard not to look out of place, but he did okay.
He was certainly no worse, was he?
He was certainly no worse. There were only one team that was still on the beach at Blackpool, and it weren't Blackpool. I thought Blackpool, who were below us in the table, but wanted it. They were faster than us, they moved, we get the ball. Every player that gets the ball stood still with the ball, and everybody else is looking, seeing what's he going to do with it, where's he going to pass it. Virtually no movement whatsoever. Even my 10-year-old grandson, who's been at training this morning, they pass it and they move to make space. They pass it and they move to make space. They keep moving to pull defenders about, pull attackers about, so they can receive the ball in space. Well, I think our team needs to get some coaches that can do that with them, because if a 10-year-old knows what to do, why are they stood still, he says to me. Well, I don't know. We looked ponderous. We kept taking his eye off the ball. Our passing was poor. Up front, it's like we hardly challenged for the ball. Let's see, I'll stand outside it, but you can have a free header. Midfield, just stood on the ball, passed it back, passed it sideways, passed it back. Couldn't pass it forward because we weren't passing it. It was cut out. We couldn't find a man. It were going out of play. We were letting it go out of play. We were really, really poor. And to sum it all up, well, they scored 3 goals and it could have been a lot more. It took a long while for their first goal to come, and it was like London buses, 3 came at once. And well deserved. You know, they wanted it more, we didn't. We were dreadful, absolutely dreadful. And, you know, and then poor Jason, I feel sorry for Jason. First he gets bowling pin that goes down, then he has to try and deal with that. 11,500 there. Debatable whether there were 11,500 there, because that includes season tickets, but I'll tell you this much, when that final whistle went, there weren't 11,500 there at the end.
Definitely not.
It
no.
was, and that's testament. That's testament to it. I know we've got a lot of injuries. I know there's loads of injuries, you know, whatever it is, 9 and 10. I thought 9, but others have said 10. But we still picked a team of professional footballers that didn't look as though they could be bothered. It was a load of rollicks.
Right. So Joe, Mr. Positive himself. No, I won't. So even from the offset today, I mean, Blackpool could have been probably. It wouldn't have been unfair for them to go in 3-0 up at half time, because they created some great chances and missed some sitters. We looked from the offset like we were defeated. Would you agree?
Semi-agree. I mean, yes, I totally agree. Blackpool could have easily... I'm sure at half-time they were sitting their away dressing room going, we should be 2-0 up in this game. But we were a bit more positive in first half. But it's same again. As soon as that goal goes in, it's heads down. There we go, they've won. And that's the thing that really pains me, because one thing Barnsley teams have always been built on is this: we go goal down, come on though, we go again. We keep going, we keep battling, we keep trying to get back. And I just feel like every time we go a goal down, particularly at home, maybe not so much away, and there'll be argument that earlier in season we did come back a few times, but recently it's just every time we go a goal down, it does look like we're flat. And yeah, I mean, for me, Tracy, one thing, So before I went away, we lost 5 out of 6 and we'd drawn other ones, so we're not 1 in 6. I goes away for a week, we win 3 on spin. I'm thinking, hey, this is all right. I comes back, we lose to Charlton. I come back and then we must have got battered by Blackpool. So I'm like,
So you're now admitting it's your fault?
we thought it were Alan in the executive box. I'm starting to think it's me. I'm going to be honest. So,
Well, we won last week with Alan in the executive box.
exactly. So yeah, I don't know what to say.
The crowd today, obviously late on, understandably, were negative about the owners and the situation that we find ourselves in, and basically the season's pretty much over now. We're going to, so I assume we ain't going to get in the playoffs, and it's pretty much we're just going to meander into mid-table, I would imagine. Few sort of calls for Darrell Clark. Where are you sitting?
No, not for me. And I know that some people, it's maybe an unpopular opinion. There's probably some people in comments who are going to completely disagree with me. My opinion is it has not been good enough, nowhere near this season. There's a lot of talk about the expectations of, the board talked about sort of building a team for promotion, all that sort of stuff. We've had all that talk for probably a couple of seasons, really. Yet on the pitch, we're seeing year on year since that sort of season where we nearly got, we were in Championship and we were going for it with Val, it's just been a constant steady decline. So we've got to find a way to turn this situation around now, because it's just getting slowly, we're just dropping down and we can't keep doing that. But I think that for me, Darrell Clark, I'm not saying he's perfect, he's admittedly himself made mistakes and he comes out, but he fronts up to the mistakes. I think that if you give him a squad that he can work with, I do think he'll get us promoted. I genuinely, this is a big claim. I actually think if we have a good chance of winning at summer, he could get us promoted next season. And I'm sick of us changing managers all the time. I think he's got the right mentality. I think that he accepts when he's made a mistake, and he could have done better in that. And I think he's got the desire to get this team into the Championship. He just needs the tools. He needs the backing. So actually, people might disagree with me. It's fine if you do. I think Darrell Clark has the same level of ambition as we do as fans, where we're saying, come on, this is our football club, we love it, we've always been the underdog, but at the minute I don't feel like we are that ultimate underdog of fighting constantly to try and get back up into the Championship. I feel like we're just sort of going through the motions a bit. We shouldn't be happy to be in mid-table, should we?
No. So Andy, like today I've heard people around me sort of being, it was obviously it's a difficult day to be positive, but commenting about, he's got to check with all the coaches, the substitutions, he waits too long. I mean, it's easy to say today because it were poor, but where do you sit again on the Clark sort of issue?
Sack the board, sack the manager, sack the players, sack the coaches, sack everybody, it says. That's right, I heard all sorts going on. I think if that's how people, I don't mind that's how people feel, because if they feel like that and are saying that, it shows that actually they're bothered. The worst possible thing that can happen is people being apathetic. Apathy sets in and you just don't care. Whether Barnsley win, play, don't play anything. If you don't care, that's the saddest of it. And I think there's a number of people that are starting to get to that. I blame them all. And I know what Joe's saying, but for me on that pitch, I know there were injuries, still professional players. There was so little organisation. And every time they got ball to look at, didn't know what to do with it, weren't sure where to go with it. That was my view. So I don't want to keep sacking managers, and I actually don't think it should happen. But he's not blameless. He's not blameless in this. I'm not
saying that at all. I'm not saying he's blameless. Please don't think that that's what I'm saying. But I'm looking at it when we got that goal down. Yeah, okay, it's his job as the manager to try and make changes. But if you're physically on the pitch, you can then say, come on, let's I'm going to adjust something. I think Keeler Dunn, in fairness, is the one that keeps doing that and tries to do it. So I want to give him a little bit of credit because he kept trying to do that. But you need them players to just go, come on, lads, we're still in this. Let's have a go.
Yeah, get by the scruff of the neck sort of
thing. And I just feel like they all just sort of look flat. And then you've got Blackpool, who I've got to give massive credit to them. They're in mid-table. You're looking at table, and realistically, you're thinking they ain't going up. They're not going to go down. So what have they got to play for? They've come here and they've looked like they need to win this game to get in playoffs. They've looked like they're going to, and even at 3-0, they're going for it. They're pressing us like mad. And I'm thinking, that desire is I'm just crying out to see a Barnsley team do that. They really look proud to play for the team and proud to play for Badge, and I just want to see that from us. And hopefully it'll come back.
Be as passionate as Joe, eh?
A couple of things I said about young Nora in training this morning. One of the big things that they had to practice was tracking back. If they knew which player was their player, and if their player were free, they were getting into trouble for not tracking back. They had to track back. Well, I think there's people here need to know about tracking back and not just letting somebody
So
run.
are you saying that the coaches are not working on
No, they're not.
basics, would you say?
I think the players potentially aren't fit enough because they're not tracking back. It's either because they've got their head down because it's been a poor display and because we're losing so much. But the professional footballers, I don't know what the coach is doing with them because they don't know what to do with the ball when they've got it. It's pedestrian, to put it mildly. So there's a mixture about who's on the books and what we're doing with them. The ones that are on the books, it's just not good enough. The best thing for me today, literally where I'm stood now, we got our approach by Glyn and Dave, and they both came up to me and said, "Can you send Alan our best regards?" We saw where it were, and we wish him all the very best. And the other thing is our friends from Bolton, our friends
Indeed.
from Bolton, such as Chris Dawson and all his other mates.
Colin,
they came forward, and although it's not general, Josh Earl, they got to Josh Earl, and Josh Earl's done a "Hope you get well, Alan. Nice message, talent." And I know that it made a huge difference to Alan
definitely
yesterday.
lifted his spirits, didn't it?
Absolutely lifted his spirits. So, and Joe's right. Well done to Blackpool.
Right, so man of the match, tough one in the
Really
pitch.
quickly, I mean-
In the pitch, DKD. Any objections?
Well, I'd probably just get to any of Blackpool players, to be honest. if I'm being totally honest, I know we don't usually do that, but if you get a Barnsley player, it has to be DKD because I think he was the only one, as I said. But yeah, it's hard to really say today. I thought Blackpool played really well, and we can talk about how bad we've been, but it's only fair to talk about how good the opposition's been when they've played well. I thought Ashley Fletcher had a really good game, to be honest. Not seen him for a while.
Apter, I think it were, for one of the wingbacks. He absolutely
Yeah.
crucified us. I thought he played really well.
Really well, and fair play to Fletcher. I know, he didn't celebrate, so I was like,
A lot of respect for
that's
that.
a lot of respect. Yeah, got to give him credit for that. But when he scored his goal, DKD is the only option for me for Barnsley.
Big Mick there, look.
Ashley Fletcher showed his class today. Apart from the goal, showed his class when they're not celebrating. It were a nice thing for him to do. So I'm not going to pick a man of the match because I don't think any of them deserve it. I thought we were that poor. Then all get lost, all of them.
Right. So, on that note, we will leave what's been a lovely sunny day, and as I said at the beginning, that's definitely been the highlight of the day. So, what did you think? Are you a Clark fan? Does he stay? Do you think he should go? Let us know in the comments below. And watch out for, Andy, you've not plugged it, an away end with Mansfield Town.
Craig from Mansfield Matters, although they've got a game on Tuesday away to Exeter, we're recording it before I'm recording on Monday evening. I have to remind him because he says remind me because I might forget. So Monday evening, hopefully, I'm recording with Mansfield Matters in preparation for the game on Saturday, where I hope the other side of my Blackpool family, the Mansfield side, Emma and Izzy, are crying into the tea rather than like her husband and a son who are happy as Larry today. I hope we don't do the same for them because there's a limit. There's a limit. She had it in the first match of the season. It's about time we made Emma and Izzy roar.
If I can get a trip away somewhere for a day, we might win it.
Oh, them
Joe
two
needs
didn't come
go.
to a match. The Fairweather fans didn't come to a match. George and
I'm
Andy.
just talking
they
about
won
when we went to me winning games.
Oh, I'm going. So that'll be facing. I can't contemplate that.
Well, let's hope we turn up, shall we? Because we didn't really turn up today. So,
Well, I'll turn up, but that might be all.
on that note, let us know. Don't forget to watch Andy's away end, and we look forward to your comments, and we'll do a preview show later in the week. But for now, Blackpool 3, Barnsley 0. You Reds!